I don't, I'll use it. Yeah.
Is it all right now? There you go. I'm not sure I need it, but we're a pretty packed group. Good morning on this beautiful Georgia day. I'm going to be very short, and I wish I could stay around, but I'm going to be walking in the rain. Any of you that want to join me and 15 other people, come on with me. It's going to be a lot of fun. Actually, the walking and talking part is the greatest part of this campaign. The cold rain is not. So I'll give you a quick, brief introduction of who I am. I have lived in Cherokee County for almost 30 years. I live in Ball Ground. I've been there for 14 years. I've raised 5 kids who are anchor babies. They were all born here in Cherokee County. And then I'm also married a wife from Auburn. And those of you who are excited, Pete? No? Okay. Auburn's going to the championship, and I think they're going to win. Do I hear an amen to that? Okay. I have been a chairman of the Cherokee County Republican Party 3 times. Most of you know me. I'm not going to really go into my personal introduction beyond that and the fact that I have worked for almost 30 years in business. I've worked for Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 1000 companies, 2-man companies. I began with as executive director of the Atlantic Care Center, which is a crisis pregnancy center and a Christian ministry with a focus on sharing the gospel and providing alternatives to women and families in crisis. We saw 300 to 400 families a month, and I left that and went to work in the late 80s into business. I've sold profitability measurement and analysis solutions all over the world. My markets were Europe, the northeastern United States, because they have this little thing called the banking industry. And I was Senior Vice President of Business Intelligence for Sterling Software. I can talk a lot about that, but that provides for me a fair amount of experience and exposure to this little thing called cost and profit, which is a big thing in small business. And it's been, I can tell some really interesting stories, but from a platform standpoint, what we're about are really 3 things. One is, and primarily, if not the top issue, one of the top issues for me will be to collaborate with fellow Republicans who are conservative, and there are a lot of them in the Georgia State Legislature who want to do this, and that is do everything we can to put a stop on the state participation in this thing called the Affordable Care Act. We have a really great development this week. In fact, on Monday, in the state of South Carolina, House Bill 3101, I think it was. I may have the numbers wrong, but the key is that the bill that was presented basically took advantage of something called the Commandeering Act, which means that a state cannot be forced by the federal government to use funds materially to support something like Obamacare. It has 4 strong foundational cases that support it from 1814, I believe it is, on up to the present. It is being championed now in the state legislature by a guy by the name of Representative Spencer and 3 other representatives. We have an extremely strong and committed local delegation in Michael Caldwell, Scott Turner, and Mindy Ballinger, and on the House side, which is where I'm going to be, and of course Brandon on the Senate side. These guys are committed to this kind of legislation. Scott Turner, Mindy Ballinger, Michael Caldwell are new to their positions, and they're shaking it up a little bit. They're saying no to things that we've said yes to for a long time. All 3 of them are endorsing. And I'm very excited about having their support and going to the House and really having to champion some of these things. The second thing for me would be economic growth in our county. You can talk about shrinking yourself to greatness, but it doesn't work. Am I running out of time? Okay, 1 minute. So, cost and profitability for small and large companies is something I've done for, like I said, 20, 25 years. Give you an example. I went to Lowe's Home Improvement, worked with the CEO of Lowe's. He since then has retired. But we went in and looked at their enterprise. They were hit the 2007 building industry, hit them hard as everything collapsed. And so they were having to look at how to address their profits and their fall in stock share and our stock value and profitability. Went in, convinced them that there was actually an opportunity there They implemented a solution. They saved $246 million in 3 years. I took that and went to the state capitol, I'm sorry, to Washington, D.C., sat down, spent an hour with Tom Price, Jeb Henserling, who you may know out of Texas, and at the time was head of one of the finance committees, and we sat down, we presented this thing. They were thrilled with what we did, and they saw tremendous application for constituent cost to serve. Got back with me in a month and said, there's one problem. Nobody here really wants to know how much things cost. Nobody wants to buy something that gives visibility to the true cost, because there's too many, slaps on the back and stuff under the table, and that's what we've got to change. We've got to change it at the federal level. Obviously, there's things that we can do, such as with the Affordable Care Act and putting a stop on that at the state level. We can support that effort. In some cases, we can lead where they're not doing anything. And then on education, I'm a big supporter of education. Homeschooled 5 kids. I've done it. I don't talk about it. My wife and I did it for 20 years. They also have been in private school. My wife teaches in a public school, and my daughter's a public educator. So I think I have a little experience across the board to talk about that. That's been what my life has been about. I'm proud of it and thankful for the opportunity, and I hope you'll vote for me on January 7th. Thanks.